broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello everyone, I am your host Keetin Marchi here doing a special edition of Spotlight On with probably the guy who encouraged me most watching you on TV when I was younger to be a host.
Wow.
Mr. Ben Lyons, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Seriously.
Someone besides my mom is watching. That's fantastic.
It's ever since I've been kind of pursuing hosting, I'm always like, I want to be like Ben Lyons. Like, you know, I should make a song like Mike. I want to be like Mike, like Ben. I want to be. I swear to you. I swear to you.
Did Maria pay you to say this or something? Or the AfterBuzz guy? Who is the AfterBuzz guy, by the way?
Is it Kevin?
Is it Kevin's voice?
No, it's not Kevin's voice. Whose voice is that?
The Buzz.
The
Like, who's that guy?
Richard Wentworth.
Richard Wentworth. Shout out to Richard.
Hi, Richard. I think I've met him once. Okay. But yeah, he's the voice of AfterBuzz.
Well, thanks for the kind words and thanks for having me.
And thank you for being here. I know you have a really busy schedule. I know
I have a tea time this afternoon.
And you just finished all of awards season. I'm sure that was crazy for you.
Fun. I got a chance to cover the Independent Spirit Awards in a big way this year for Film Independent, which is the nonprofit that organizes the spirits, and that's on Saturday before the Oscars. So not only do you get the Oscar nominees who are also there at the spirits, but you get all these filmmakers who are just so happy to be at an event like that, and having gone through the whole award cycle. I was happy to see the directors of Land Ho, which won an award. And I don't know, that was kind of my favorite of all the award stuff throughout the season.
Thanks, that was the Spirit Awards. That's all, and that's awesome that you got to be a part of it too. I mean, because you grew up in New York City. You grew up kind of in a family that has kind of been entertainment journalists from your grandfather to your dad. Do you think kind of this love for movies has just been in your blood, like because you were so ingrained in it from a kid?
Sometimes people ask me how I got my start covering film, and I think back to a time when I saw Saving Private Ryan. I think I was maybe 12 years old, and my dad played in a charity celebrity softball game, and Ed Burns was in the game. He's in the film as well. And I remember that experience of seeing the movie, and then the next day sitting in the dugout with Ed Burns and just asking him tons of questions about the movie. And that experience really stayed with me as I got older and started to do it professionally, of wow, I get to see a talked about interesting film, and the next day have the privilege of talking with the filmmakers and the creative people involved. I really enjoy that. So I try and hold on to that feeling I had back when I was 12 in my work now.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, did you ever, was there a specific time, was that like the moment you're like, I want to be like my dad, I want to do what my dad does?
I mean, I don't know. I sort of felt it, so I had that experience and it stayed with me, and then just going with my dad to the station. I always liked the vibe on set at the newsroom. I always liked watching him react to breaking news if someone passed away or if there was a big casting announcement or whatever, how you'd have to run into the station and kind of do stuff on the fly. I liked that energy. And then I actually started my career producing behind the scenes, doing music videos and a syndicated music show called Hip Hop Nation. So I thought I was going to be like Russell Simmons, like behind the scenes guy, managing rappers and all this stuff. And then a host of our show at the time was really unreliable. And I say to people a lot, a big skill to have is to be available. And I was available, and I started interviewing. My first interview on camera professionally was with Dave Chappelle on the set of his show. And so awesome. I was like, this is really fun. And I try to keep that enthusiasm as I get older now. And yeah, that's sort of how I got started. It was a little later on that I realized, I was probably like 22, maybe 21. Oh, this is fun. I want to do this. But I was way more into music growing up than I was film.
And that's amazing kind of that you were with, like, in MTV, kind of the Carson Daly right? And like when I feel like MTV kind of made this jump to more like pop culture rather than music. What was that kind of like being a part of them during
I
that
was
time?
producing, like I said, music videos, and that's how I got involved with the people at MTV. And I said just casually, I'd love for you guys to take a look at some of my on-camera work. I'd love your opinion. And they came back to me with, how does it sound to like host a show with Suchin Pak, like a movie show? I was like, okay, like what do I do with my hands? Like I don't know how to do this. Like yeah, okay. And so my first 3 interviews were Jack Black, Will Smith, Angelina Jolie. Each one was half an hour. It's like, whoa, this is nuts. But it taught me a very valuable lesson that you are responsible for your own words on camera. Even if a producer wants to collaborate with you and give you questions, like never read the questions verbatim. I did that. I was young. It was my first time on TV. And I realized this isn't an honest representation of who I am or who I want to be on camera. But I enjoyed that experience, obviously, working with Suchin Pak, who is, I don't know, one of the great broadcasters in this entertainment kind of news journalism stuff. She can do hard news, she can do fashion stuff. I was a big fan of Suchin, and just seeing how she interacted with the crew and the other hosts on the show was like a real reminder of like, oh, that's how you carry yourself in this business. So that was great. But I only worked with them for a short period of time, and then moved out to here. I moved out to LA and was kind of off to the races after that.
And I mean, you've done a ton for E. You've done a ton for Extra. You've done all like the big entertainment thing.
Content. So I really value that experience doing all those odd jobs. When I was then in front of the camera, I realized, there's a lot going on besides me in this equation.
Absolutely. And so, I mean, you did come from kind of this family entertainment background type of thing. Do you think, I mean, then you said you lost this job at MTV. Was there a point where you're just like, I don't know if this is for me, or was it harder for you because, like, do you think it was a difficult thing being kind of stamped with that, your family's been in the business kind of label, or was that kind of a benefit and a blessing?
Well, I was lucky that my father is very well respected in the business. Actors always enjoyed having conversations with him. He's very well researched, very well liked by publicists and people in the industry. So it definitely didn't hurt me at all. It helped a lot. Oh, you're Jeffrey Lyons' kid. Okay, let's give you a shot. Definitely that happens, Or even before that, my grandfather was very well liked for in the circles that he traveled in. But yeah, there was a point when I said, you know what, I just want to move to LA and see what happens. I got that little taste of it on MTV, and the fact that it didn't work out long term with MTV never discouraged me at all. I can't think of really anybody in Hollywood who's had any type of success who hasn't fallen down at some point in some way. It might not be a huge tumble, but you're always going to get knocked down in this business. That's kind of the fun. It's kind of a validation, really, of your place in the business.
I think of Ben Affleck right now, especially. I mean
Robert Downey Jr. is the face of Disney.
Yes.
Like there's so many stories of people falling on tough times, and it's all relative, and it's all about how you get up. And so moving out here to LA was a clean slate. I was 23 years old, so I wasn't about to walk away from anything.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool. I mean, I've heard you talk about kind of finding your voice. Do you think you have found your voice completely, or do you think that's something that's constantly changing for you as a host?
I'm getting there. I think I'm really close. It's something that comes with experience. I'm transitioning more into the world of sports and covering sports more, which is made me so excited to get to go to work every day. I think it's part of just getting older. I think not forget. Professionally, just personally, as you get older, you become more comfortable with who you are and what you want to accomplish and what you value. And then if you can apply that to your career and in this hosting business and correspondent business, if you can get to a place where you're honestly yourself on camera, I think your work just goes through the roof at that point. So yeah, I think I'm getting there.
So we have seen you doing a lot of sports stuff. I mean, sports or movies?
I try to find ways to combine them. Like I love bringing Jessica Chastain onto my podcast at ESPN and talking to her about growing up in Sacramento when Chris Webber and the Kings were running through the Western Conference. Like, I like bringing those things together. Josh Duhamel is starting a new film where he's playing Bill Lee, a former pitcher for the Red Sox, and to talk to him about that. That's my favorite thing to do right now, is to find those little pockets. Anthony Mackie's a huge New Orleans Saints fan. Talking to him about the future of Drew Brees in New Orleans. I like that right now. That's what's getting me pretty excited.
And I know one of your teams is the Knicks. Huge
you can call
Knicks
them
fan.
a team nowadays. I don't know. It looks like it was just like 10 guys running around with their heads cut off.
Have you? I mean, who are your teams like football? Do you have a team?
I'm a diehard Philadelphia Eagles fan. It makes no sense because I grew up in New York City. I loved Randall Cunningham, who was a quarterback in the late 80s, early 90s for them. And I fell in love with the Eagles. And
baseball, are you with your dad on that one?
No, my father is such a crazy Red Sox fan. That's always been his thing. But I've been a Dodger fan since I moved out here. It's about 10 years. So as soon as I moved here, I was like, oh, I'm free of this Red Sox craziness. But yeah, I've been a Dodger fan. And there's a trend and a theme you'll see with the teams I root for is nobody wins anything.
Oh, okay. So do you guys, you don't want Ben Lyons to be your fan because you'll start losing.
Seeing me at your games, shouting out real fan life, you're not going to win. It sucks.
And you went to Michigan.
I did.
Right? And so what was your college experience like?
My college experience was interesting. I realized that New York City was not the normal way to grow up. Everybody kind of looked at me as the oddball at school because I had this New York City background and where I grew up. I did 2 years out there. I have a lot of good friends from there. But 9/11 happened. And being that New Yorker, I said to myself, like, what am I doing in the middle of Michigan right now? I need to start to get to work. I want to be around my family. I want to be back home. So I moved back to New York after my sophomore year and just started working. But I don't know. I got it. Football, beer. You know, like I was an English major. It was a good time. Like I get it.
Midwest.
I got a lot of cool, like Michigan Nike gear. Awesome.
Yeah, oh, great.
No, but I am lucky.
Gear.
I have a lot of friends, most of them who are out here in LA, who I met at college. So I feel like I did the rah-rah college thing. But, you know, I went to a great high school, and I felt really capable from my experience at collegiate, my high school, to go out into the real world. That sometimes being in a lecture of like 450 kids, like, what am I doing here? So
yeah.
I thought it was interesting. I kind of struggled a little bit in college.
You're doing okay now.
I'm on your show. I'm on Spotlight. Who else have you shined the spotlight on?
Ed Asner. That.
Wow, it's been all downhill since Asner. And now you got me. That's ridiculous.
Are you kidding? No,
Okay.
no. I'm very happy to have you here. And
yeah.
so, you have had such an amazing career for being the age. I mean, when I looked up your age, I was like, really? God, he's done so much. I was like, I feel like I need to like step up my game. Do you have a favorite interview that you've done?
I've always enjoyed the conversations with Shia LaBeouf over the years. Shia and I first got to know each other instead of the Transformers, series, and then through Wall Street and Indiana Jones and Eagle Eye. He's working in big movies right when I was working at the E! Channel, so we did a lot of fun interviews over the years. And what I just appreciated about his candor was that it was just honest. Like he said whatever he wanted. He didn't give you the canned, recycled answer. His interviews were always unpredictable. Same with like a Kanye West, Daniel Radcliffe. Those guys, like they're really comfortable in their own skin and they give you really good stuff and are genuine and present in the moment. And that's half the battle. As you know from covering carpets, people can be distracted. They can be disengaged. Or I think it's a different skill set to be a good interview than to be a good actor. So I've always enjoyed Kristen Stewart. People say what they want about Kristen. I think she's a great interview. You just have to be like a real person and talk to her in a genuine way, and she'll be genuine back to you. I really like Kristen. So those are some of my favorites, I think, over the years.
Do you have what's been your favorite set to visit? You've been so lucky to visit sets. Gosh, I'm so jealous of you on that one.
I mean, sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be the best movie, but it can be a really fun set.
Yeah, crew and stuff.
I was on the set of a Dracula Untold movie in Ireland. The set was awesome. The movie didn't really work out. I had a lot of fun on the set of Role Models, the Paul Rudd movie. I visited that. That was around here, somewhere in the valley. Set visits are cool because not only do you get a chance to interact with the actors who you see on carpets and press events, but to see how the crew works and to see the vibe. Like you can get a good feel if the movie is gonna work out. The set of Superbad was awesome because nobody knew who these kids were really. Like Emma Stone hadn't done much. I think she'd just been on the Lucky Louie show.
He's
way after that.
Yeah,
she had been on. Louis C.K. had a show on HBO called Lucky Louie, and I think she played his daughter, and that's like pretty much all she'd done. Jonah Hill hadn't really done anything. Michael Cera. There was just a cool vibe on set. I'm in the background of when they go to like the grown-up party, and there's a fight outside. If you look really hard, it's a guy with a beer funnel around his neck, really getting into the fight. I love that I snuck into that movie. And then, of course, like the House Bunny sets were really fun. Yeah. on Ferris. Good time.
Is she just like a
There's an
sweetheart?
Emma Stone theme to this.
There is. Are you really? Were you also on the Partridge Family reality TV show set? Like, go way back with her.
It's funny when you're asking me to go down memory lane and kind of talk about some of the jobs I've done and sets I've visited. It's cool that like I got a chance to talk to a lot of these stars before they became really big stars, and you and I were just talking about that outside. You covered the Cinderella premiere the other night, and they bring, it's a Disney premiere, so they bring along, these young stars you haven't maybe heard of or they haven't done much. And it's really cool if you kind of stick with it 5, 6, 7 years later. Emma Stone's an Oscar-nominated actress.
Yeah.
It just brings a smile
She's
to my
huge.
face.
She's like
It's
America's
really cool.
sweetheart right now.
She is, right? That Cameron Crowe movie looks good too. That's got her and Bradley Cooper.
Oh,
in
yeah.
it.
Absolutely. I mean, in Birdman, you gotta love it. Gotta love Birdman from this year. So let's see. Can we play a little bit of a game? Like, I know you're the movie expert.
Okay.
This is just like the favorite. I'm gonna keep taking you down
quotes,
memory lane. No,
if it's
this
quotes,
is
I'm not gonna
this
do
is
well.
just this is Ben's favorite things.
Okay.
This is Ben.
Okay. And you get a DVD, and you get a DVD. All right, what do we got?
Favorite movie of all time.
The movie that means a lot to me is Good Will Hunting. I don't know if it's my favorite of all time, but it's the first DVD I ever bought. It's a film about friendship, about love. There's a kind of a weird father-son type of relationship with Robin Williams and Matt Damon, a mentorship relationship. I love Good Will Hunting. That movie. I used to dress up in the tracksuits and have a Boston accent with my buddies and go to the batting cages. So
I could see you hanging out with like Ben and Matt.
going
like,
to watch Little League baseball in Southie. Yeah, in South Boston. Yeah, no, I love that movie.
Favorite genre.
Favorite genre, I would have to say like an intelligent event movie. Do event movies count as a genre?
Like based on a true story?
No,
or
like it's a film with a high-profile filmmaker, usually a big budget, but makes you think. So that feeling you have when you go see Interstellar,
yes,
or that feeling you have, even I went and saw Chappie, those event movies that are interesting and more than just shoot 'em up explosions and but are like when you go see a Dark Knight or when you go see those kind of big event movies that you've been reading about for 10 years sometimes, and then you go see them and they deliver. That's my favorite kind of experience.
So fingers crossed Star Wars is good at the end of this year.
Exactly. That kind of experience at the movies I really love.
I watched 2 Star Wars yesterday and I'm just like, oh, I can't wait. Like so excited. Favorite actor?
My favorite actor is probably Matt Damon. Yeah, I've always liked Matt's work, and I think he lives his life off screen in a really admirable way and seems like a good dude and can do those big event movies, but can also support independent film. And I love Matt Damon.
Actress?
Charlize Theron and Penelope Cruz.
Oh.
Yeah, I think they're both the two right at the top, and so everything you think of when you think of like a movie star and Charlize, she can do like Matt Damon, those big event movies. Excited for Mad Max this summer, but then can do smaller character stuff. Won an Oscar, of course. So did Penelope Cruz. Yeah, I love the two of them.
So actor or actress to watch, like who, like up and coming, that you're like, this kid is going to be huge.
One to watch who hasn't really popped yet.
Yeah, the one to watch.
Ansel Elgort is going to be a big star. I know he's got a following from Fault in Our Stars and Divergent, but he's really good, and I think it's called Men, Women, and Children, the Jason Reitman movie that came out last year. But Ansel and Miles Teller, it's too late to say Miles now,
he's
right?
there. He's there. He's so good. He's my favorite.
Yeah, I think Ansel Elgort is about to do some really good work. As far as an actress goes, what's her name? She's in a movie at Sundance I really loved. Oh, she's going to kill me. Can I pull it up on the IMDb?
Please. No, pull it up.
Continue on. But it's this movie with Colby Smulders at Sundance that Chris Webber produced. She was excellent. And if she's watching this, I'm so sorry. Okay, we're going to find this. Continue.
Best movie from last year?
I thought Birdman was the movie of the year. That's a movie that has great writing, casting, directing, the pacing of the film, cinematography, the performance. It's just like a perfect movie. Just everything comes funny. It's sad. It's inspiring.
Thought-provoking.
It's just a really cool movie. So that was my favorite.
Movie you're most excited about this year?
Movie I'm most excited about for this year, obviously Star Wars, like anybody. I'm excited for the films I saw at Sundance to roll out. I saw a movie with Sarah Silverman called I Smile Back. That was terrific. She's going to surprise a lot of people when they see that. So I like when I get a chance to go to these film festivals and see a ton of movies and then watch how they're received and how they roll out throughout the year. There's a film called Cop Car with Kevin Bacon. Two young kids discover an abandoned police car in a field, essentially, and take it on a joyride, and like all hell breaks loose. And it was just a really cool, interesting, different movie. I'm being such a jerk. I'm so sorry. I'm pulling this up.
No, we want a picture, and we need to know your favorite, the actress we need to watch, according to Ben Lyons. We need to know.
Gail Bean.
Gail Bean.
Gail Bean. She plays Jasmine in this movie called Unexpected that was at Sundance. Gail Bean. I really liked her. So
do you think because you are so fortunate, you get to go to all these amazing like festivals and see these films before anybody else kind of hears about them. Do you think you can sit, through 10, 20 movies throughout a whole festival and be like, this one will be at the Oscars?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've had that experience with Black Swan at Toronto. I remember seeing it Friday morning at like 9 a.m. and 20 minutes in, you're like, oh, hey. She's going to win the Oscar.
She's going to win the Oscar.
I felt that way with Fruitvale. I mean, it wasn't an Oscar film ultimately, but Fruitvale Station, when I saw it at Sundance, you were instantly like, oh, this is a real movie. You can feel it right away. And I had that feeling with the Sarah Silverman performance, and I Smile Back. So we'll see if it has legs. And there's, it's the one kind of downside of getting to cover the whole awards season is they pull back the curtain a little, and you realize it's not necessarily always about the best films.
Yeah.
There's so much politics that goes into it, and essentially campaigning, which I understand it's a business at the end of the day, and there's big business around having your film nominated for Oscars. But yeah, there is a feeling when you watch a movie at a festival, especially Foxcatcher. I remember the moment Steve Carell came on screen, you're sitting there in France and you're like, okay, I saw it in May, and you're like, okay, this is going to be a movie to watch and to see how it's rolled out. And sure enough,
he is so creepy in that movie.
So weird.
So weird.
So good.
And I love
that's
Steve Carell.
That's a trend too that I really like is when actors play against type. Steve Carell, you expect him to be funny on screen, and in Foxcatcher, he's not. Same with Sarah Silverman in this film, I Smile Back. When those serious comedians can do serious drama, I think that's incredible.
So I think you obviously have impeccable taste for film.
I don't know about that. Well, there'd be a lot of movies I liked over the years that you probably don't like.
You have pretty good taste.
It's very sweet of you to
you
say.
have pretty good taste. So, and I know, you have a producer hat. Do you want to get more into making independent films and doing your own stuff?
Absolutely. It's definitely a goal and a dream of mine to have a film I produce at Sundance or at any of those festivals. I produced a documentary that went to Tribeca a couple of years ago about my buddy Sal Masekela. It was a short film. That was just a great experience to be a part of that. Jason Berg directed and did an awesome job. And I really want to continue to do more producing stuff.
And is that your favorite hat to wear, or do you, what is it, hat?
I like wearing a hat on the golf course. Like, that's all I keep talking about this tea time this afternoon. I'm not even kidding. But I think you have to just be excited about whatever it is you're doing. I get a chance to be on the radio, TV, cover stuff online, whether it's an award show and you have to put on a tuxedo at 3 p.m, or you go to a ball game and interview a player. Like, whatever you're doing at the time, you have to be really excited about it, and that's where your best work will come from. It's not about being wide-eyed and overtly excited. You still have to be professional, but there's too many people, whether it's in the sports media business or entertainment business, who are at these amazing events and covering these really interesting and dynamic people, and they bring just like the weight of the world with them, and they're like, oh, I don't want to be here, I got a flight to catch, I'm tired, they didn't give us any food.
I hate those people, because I would take your job in a heartbeat.
There's a line around the block for the job, so I don't know, I try to just to be really excited by whatever it is I'm doing. I've
heard you and read that you've talked a lot about authenticity as a host, and how do you think you bring that?
If you wouldn't say it in real life, don't say it on camera.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't wear that in real life, don't wear it on camera. I think there's something, you don't necessarily have to be fascinated by the beat that you're covering, but you should be curious about it. I don't know. I enjoy having a conversation with like a police officer in Philadelphia, like I do with Seth Rogen. Like, you're finding the human qualities and the human stories in everybody, and just try to, if you're speaking, if I'm doing an interview with Fat Joe, I'm going to interview him the same way that I'm going to interview, I don't know, Juliette Binoche. You just have to, like Binoche and Joe, like, there you go. You just have to be yourself. Like,
there's a show.
I don't know. I answered your question of how do you be yourself by saying be yourself.
Be yourself. No.
I know that's lame, but I just think you'll know in your heart when something comes out of your mouth that doesn't really reflect who you are.
Yeah.
So I think be mindful of that.
It's good to know. Good to know. So what do you have coming up?
I'm going to South by Southwest over the weekend, hosting a panel for my new job at the Players Tribune. This is a website that Derek Jeter helped start, and I'm their chief content officer. Very saucy
That's a
title.
very fancy title.
We're doing a panel down at South by with some former college basketball legends talking all things NCAA hoops. So that'll be fun. What else is coming up? Tribeca's coming up. I know that'll be a good one. I always enjoy covering that festival. So yeah, we'll see.
What's your favorite festival?
I'd probably say Sundance. Tribeca, the New Yorker in me, and the way that festival was founded by De Niro and Jane Rosenthal in the wake of 9/11 to bring business to Lower Manhattan. But in terms of the actual films that play, probably Sundance. That experience of seeing movies in these little makeshift theaters in the snow, and I don't know, I've always just really enjoyed my time out there. So I'd say Sundance.
We've talked a lot about movies, but do you, just out of curiosity, TV to watch?
I'm deep into season 3 of House of Cards right now. I feel bad for my girlfriend. She hasn't seen seasons 1 and 2.
Oh,
so she's
no.
like, well, just wait for me to catch up. And I love you, Mariah, but no, I gotta power through. I'm almost done with season 3 of House of Cards. It's so good. And I do watch Empire, although it's ridiculous.
So good. It's so
bad.
good, but
it's
so
bad. And is Larry David coming back? Like, is there another Curb around the corner? Where's the Curb? I saw him on 60 Minutes the other night. I'm turning into my grandfather on my mom's side, not my dad's side, with my television watching habits, where I'm like watching like 2020, Dateline, you know, and then like CSI Cyber. Like, I don't know. Like,
CSI Cyber. They've gone that far.
Bad old dude shows.
That's awesome. So, in the future, you have a lot coming up. Dream person to work with in the future.
Dream person
Put
to
out in the
work
universe.
with. Put out in the universe.
You gotta do that.
That's a good one. I'd love to work on something with Matt Damon. I think that dude has a really smart take when it comes to not only the films he signs on for, but the way he expresses his political views. And I've done a lot of charity stuff with him over the years, and I'd love to actually create something with that guy.
Matt Damon, Ben Lyons is calling.
You know?
Dude, I think you guys would be great. Again, I feel like you like already hang out with him. You look like you're like the third. Like it's like Matt, Ben.
The guy like,
Matt, Ben, and Ben.
collecting their coats
Yeah,
when they go
hey,
inside.
guys.
Hey guys, I'll be outside.
You guys wanna go out to
Give me your
Facebook?
valet ticket when you're ready. Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. So the last thing I want to ask you, because I'm just such a fan of yours and I've watched your
That's so
work,
nice.
is thanks.
Yeah.
Best words of advice you can give, not just me, but just any person who is trying to follow their dream and kind of get into this crazy world of entertainment and stay in it.
I would say to surround yourself with the best people you can. You know, if you really want to go out there and be a host, like surround yourself with other motivated people. Oftentimes you can kind of get dragged down by the people around you. I listen to a guy named Colin Cowherd on ESPN radio in the morning, and he talks about how he tells his kids, be careful what car you get into, right? In high school, if you get in the wrong car, things won't work out for you, you know, and that's a metaphor, I think, for life. So be careful of who you get in the car with, what car you get into, and just be aware of your surroundings. I think that's really important, because Hollywood, you can get in some weird places and things can sound fun, and you can be a prisoner of the moment and get into some trouble. And just surround yourself with good people. Nothing goes on at the party after 1:30. You know what I mean? Nothing you want to be a part of. A lot goes on, but nothing you want to be a part of. So I would just say try to, and also, you know, be very well researched. Like, you've done all your homework today. Like, I appreciate that in this experience. And there too often I see, you know, times where I see people, they haven't seen the movie, or they don't read the 5 other interviews the person has done before. Like, just know your stuff. Like, be a fan of the culture, know your stuff. And if you surround yourself with good people and be open to new things, you'll find your way.
So where can we find you once you leave here on
I
social
told you
media?
that I'm going to Mountain Gate. I got a tea time at 12:45
So if you guys
today.
really want to stalk
Yeah,
them, that's
I'm
where
going
you
to
can
golf
go.
course. I don't know. You hit me up. I am Ben Lyons. I love talking movies with people online, talking sports and stuff. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I seriously cannot thank you enough. This is a dream come true for me.
Glad to see the
even be
check
able to
I
interview
sent to
you.
Maria cleared.
It's not even that.
I think that's what happened. But thank you very much for your enthusiasm and for your time.
Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Maria, you're crazy.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.